It's Mr. Welch again. This is episode number 11 of the LPSD Virtual College and Career Fair. Today it is my pleasure to be speaking with Abe Williams and Karli Brakes of the Pebble Partnership. Abe is going to give us some insight on what the Pebble Partnership is, what's currently going on, maybe some outlook for the current project that he talks about in the Lake Iliamna area. Both Abe and Karli are Alaskan natives. And Abe, grew up in the Bristol Bay area. And he talks a little bit about that. He was lived in Naknek for many years and was really involved in Naknek and in the area with that too. Karli works in the workforce development part of the Pebble Partnership, and Abe, back in 2010, said he started out as a consultant, and the last 2 years he's been in direct work with Pebble Partnership. They go over some of the things that Pebble Partnership covers, like I said, and also looking at typical jobs, maybe some certifications, trainings to be on to look out for as well. So a very informative episode we have here for you. So here we go, and it's my pleasure to introduce Abe Williams and Karli Brakes. All right, so we have Abe here with us, and Karli is also on here too. She can chime in as well. So Abe, I'll turn it over to you if you want to just kind of give us a little bit of overview of the Pebble project, and then we can kind of get into some of the things that maybe can apply to students out here as well.
Okay, well, let me just start by saying, my name's Abe Williams. I'm the Director of Regional Affairs for the Pebble Partnership. I was born and raised in Bristol Bay and lived out there majority of my life. I currently live in Anchorage and work on a project that I feel is important to not only Southwest Alaska, but Alaska in general. And so the project itself is located about 17 miles northwest of Iliamna, New Halen. It's a world-class copper, gold, molybdenum, and a resource. There are other materials in there as well as we study that area. We find more and more material. Having said that, I think we wanted to talk a little bit about jobs and opportunity around this project, and as it moves forward, and if in fact it moves forward. So the project is designed to have about 2,000 jobs during construction, and we anticipate a 4-year construction process and a 20-year mine life process that we currently are permitting. And during the mine life, we anticipate anywhere from 900 to 1,000 jobs in the mining sector, and those jobs vary from process operators all the way down to geologists and biologists. All the work that's very important to not only extract the minerals, but at the same time keep a database and make sure that we're doing everything safely. So we'll have probably a 4-year closure process coming towards the end of the mine, and there will be monitoring that follows that for quite some time. So the average mine annual salary in Alaska has been about $108,000 annually. So the wages there are extremely good in comparison to what some folks may see as job wages out in rural Alaska, or many parts of Alaska for that matter. And those are some of the highlights that I have. And if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to focus in on those.
Yeah, so I know for the population of our students that probably viewing this, we might even have some parents or whatnot. But if for like a student who is graduating, what opportunities might they have with the Pebble Partnership?
So we're working, and we have worked a little bit with University of Alaska Anchorage. Their mining sector educational classes and vocational classes, both in Juneau, Fairbanks, and in Anchorage. So getting students paired up to what might interest them is important to us, and I think it's important to many people regarding that this project has the ability to literally employ over 10% of the population in Southwest Alaska. So, we look at the population of Southwest Alaska right now, there's about 7,500 or 7,800 people that live there, and that includes the Chigniks and all the way up north into Lake Clark. So, there are many educational opportunities and vocational opportunities out there that we could look at and work with students to pair them into what might advance them and help them become a more attractive employee.
Yeah. And what are some of the typical jobs? I know you touched on, kind of the mining side, but what are some of the typical jobs that are out there at the mine?
Well, if we're talking about during construction, you have electricians, civil engineers, environmental specialists, surveyors, planners, all the way down to safety and medical folks that will be employed on the job site. And so when we come out of construction and we look at operation of the mine itself, and so we're extracting the ore out of the ground and we're processing it at the mill, and we're getting it prepped to ship to be reprocessed or processed into a finer product. You see mill operations managers and power plant operators. We're going to have a pretty sizable power plant up there. We look at about 270 megawatts of power that we'll use in that. In that power plant, we've built in a little excess power in case some of the communities in the nearby region want to tap into it. So that environmental specialists, geotechs, there's a long list of professional and skilled professional positions that can be filled by many people that come from the region or Alaska.
And with those positions, do most of them need some sort of, degree or just experience?
We have in that field, it goes all the way from folks that they may have never graduated high school, but they've gone through some kind of a vocational education program, maybe a tech school of some sort. But they're, as long as they can show a level of education that helps them advance, in a specific area, I don't think that it hinders or limits their ability to become that person, right? And all the way to people with 4-year degrees. There's legal teams, there's professional surveyors, professional geologists, archaeologists for that matter. A lot of these folks have, degrees from colleges that are important. But I think on a project like this and others, it runs the gamut of having the ability to cast a wide net and make sure that there's opportunity out there for everybody. And like myself, I was never really the college type, but I really like to work. I like to work with my hands, and I enjoy that. And there's a lot of room here. In it's really about taxing yourself and making sure that I want to become a heavy equipment operator, and you focus on the skills that you need to be a heavy equipment operator, if not the best heavy equipment operator, and you target that, and each day you try to strive to be better educated and better equipped to make that happen.
Yeah, awesome. And kind of sounds like it probably would be beneficial, like if some of these students I know who are taking part of our CTE program, kind of branching out to like those technical schools as well, would probably benefit them if they have opportunity to maybe get a heavy equipment operator, or like a CDL, those types of certificates. Does Pebble offer those type of training, or are you kind of expecting them to come with those if that's the field, that the branch they want to go?
We haven't offered that type of training as of yet. You know, we're working through the permitting process right now, but there's a lot of discussion and topic on what it's going to look like when we bring a partner on board, and as we design our timeline for the start of construction, the end of construction, and then the beginning of the process itself. So I think here in the near future is a great time to engage students. It's been challenging, don't get me wrong, because the project is very controversial, and a lot of people are very opinionated about the project. And I think that the downside to that is it's deterred folks from looking at what does this project have to offer, what can I do to educate myself or become a more attractive employee to the project. And if we have the ability to set that that stigma aside, I think we could better engage and be a better community liaison to make sure that people are getting the training and the education that they need.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, you bring up some good points there, Abe. And also looking to like in the future, I know things are probably just getting started, and like you said, just kind of working things through. Has there been any discussion for like maybe any possible like internship opportunities that maybe some of these students can get a little kind of see what goes on before maybe committing to that type of field?
Yeah, we have had some discussion around that, and most recently, as we navigated through the permitting process, there's a section of the permitting called Section 106. It's cultural resources, and what we do is we send archaeological folks out into the field, and they're doing a lot of excavation and looking at the road corridor or where we're going to build the project, and sometimes we find archaeological artifacts that pertain to Native communities, and and the people, especially in the Lake Iliamna region, that I believe are important to not only the history and culture of that certain area, but at the same time, it's very interesting to students. And so prior to the pandemic issue that we're dealing with right now, we thought that there would be a field, a spring field work taking place out there. And we wanted to see, or we are looking at engaging with perhaps students from the Lake and Penn schools, if they'd be interested in participating on project like that, or a work season like that, just to give them some knowledge on that specific type of work that's being done. So to answer the question, there are discussions taking place. What that looks like now, and compared to 6 to 12 months, it could be a lot different as we move forward.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think that's, a great opportunity for, some students who would like to enjoy that and go out, like you said, and help with that clearing process as well. Abe, is there any other, anything specifics that, our students should know either about the project or the company itself, or is there anything else that you just like to share that would help maybe make them
Um, yeah, I think there's what I see generally in today's world is, a lot of folks there's a stigma around oil and gas development or mining and things like that. But it's important to understand, the technologies that we're communicating on today are the things that we're utilizing in today's world are important to us, and they're designed and developed through the ability to tap into our resources, whether it's mining or oil and gas, and those are important. And I've long felt that a diverse ability and jobs out in Bristol Bay is important. Knowing that I fish in the fishery, and it's been challenging. I was never given a permit to fish out there. I had to go out and work and to buy it and make it all happen. And having the option of a job outside of the Bristol Bay season was very important to me, to make myself successful in both cases. So, I think taking a look at the opportunities and keeping an open mind is extremely important. And there are other opportunities as well that they're called indirect jobs, that maybe you're a supplier of some sort, or a contractor that works for a project like this. But those are all key elements to how we advance a project like this forward.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, Abe. And, Karli, I know you're on here as well. Do you have anything to add or to share? I know we have a PDF, that talks about this, that, I'll link to this video as well. So it gives you more information, but I just want to give you that opportunity if you wanted to share anything else.
Yeah, that workforce development booklet has a lot of information. It kind of dives in a little bit more over what kind of certifications kids can start looking into. Right now is a great time, as we're a few years out of having any of those jobs, like the $108,000 jobs. Those are typically require a college degree, so it's a great time for kids to start looking into what kind of degree they'd like to pursue. Under our website at pebblepartnership.com, there's a careers tab there, and there's a list of information for colleges and universities, as well as some apprenticeship programs as well. So if they're interested, check out our site. The workforce development booklet there also has tons of information.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I'll definitely put a link into this video too, so they can, click on over to that. So, well, Abe and Karli, I appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with me and to our students about the Pebble Partnership and possible career opportunities in the next few years that they can be thinking and considering with that. So again, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Hey, there you have it. I appreciate Abe and Karli for taking some time to speak to us in regards to Pebble Partnership. The project that's going on, and also some opportunities here in the next couple of years for employment. I am going to post a link somewhere around here to the pebblepartnership.com where you guys can look at career opportunities and a little bit more information on the workforce development. So thank you very much, and be on the lookout for episode number 12 coming right at you.